Hey everybody, how we doing today? We doing well? Everyone having a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever the hell you guys are from? How's everybody? Today we have Glarses, the king himself, Glarses, with Chase and Space Cables as per the norm. Glarses, first of all, how are you?
I'm not doing too bad, thank you. I'm not doing too bad. I'm okay. It's a bit late here, but I'm ready.
It is quite. We started the stream a little early today, guys, because we wanted to accommodate Mr. Glarses. Since we don't want to stream at like 3 a.m. in the morning for him and then absolutely destroy his sleep schedule.
It doesn't exist, but I still appreciate it though.
Chase and Spoos are here as well. Yes, as per the norm.
Hello. I'm just tweeting about this.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I was messing with right before.
So, if you guys don't know who Glarses is, which I mean, at this point here,
who are you if you don't know?
I don't think people don't know, but maybe just to fill them in, if you don't mind. Mr. Glarses.
Me.
Yeah.
Hi. My name is Glarses. I make I don't really know what I make. I make YouTube videos about keyboards, but I think the best description of it is I'm a comedy channel, masked as a keyboard channel, if that gives you any kind of insight into what I do. Yeah, I take keyboards and I make really stupid jokes out of them. Sometimes I'll do Switch reviews and other stuff, or I'll, in my latest escapade, I'll go into a car and try and do a typing test. So yeah, those are the sort of levels of stupidity of things I like to get up to. Yeah.
Which I think the whole community is really enjoying, by the way. And more so. I think even if you're not into keyboards, you can appreciate the humor. Which I think that's kind of where that transcends, which is really, really awesome.
No, I think it's really cool that you're doing what you are in this community, especially like where a lot of the content created is all about how pretty can I make this look, or what can I do to get the most like compliments of how good everything looks on my desk. I think it's really refreshing to see somebody using, I guess, like the topic of keyboards for something like comedy and just doing like really good skits out of it. It's really refreshing.
Thank you.
And what's crazy too is he just like, when he did his first few videos, I remember going onto a Discord. I don't even know which one it was. I literally go on, everyone's like, have you seen this guy? And it was just like this really, really funny skit he did. And I just saw, like, I remember watching your progress too, which was crazy to look at. Your sub count just like through the roof. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That was scary.
I had some, I know. And that's the one thing actually I was going to ask you about, coming into keyboards too. And how long were you into keyboards prior to making some of these comedy videos or just videos about keyboards, right?
So I think I've properly posted the first video. It was the trying MX Browns for the first time, I think in February.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been a few months, maybe around half a year, a bit more than that. So not too long, honestly. But yeah, I felt it was time. I was bored and I jumped right in.
Which is cool. I honestly appreciate it. And that video, man, oh man, that literally sparked a meme. That literally made, I mean, I'm sure everyone, and again in chat, knows the meme. I know me and Spoos say the meme a lot, same with Chase. MX Browns, yes. What you guys don't know, I'm about to expose Glarses here. Is Glarses actually, this is what it's actually all about. He made that video because he stockpiled MX Browns. Alright? So he's making MX Browns seem like dog crap. Well, he stockpiles more and more every single month. And then he's going to drop a video about how MX Browns are actually the best Switch. And he's going to be the only person who has them. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monopoly.
Then I can sell them, and then I can do it again. I'll say
do it, blues.
Celios are the worst Switch, and then I'll do it again, and I'll find another Switch, and that's, that's how I make my money. It's not very honest, but yeah, I guess.
Dude, fuck honesty. I'm just kidding.
Truly the best ergo tactile Switch options. Yeah, I was wrong about MX Browns. That'll be the title of the video.
It's like a caption where you're like, I was wrong about MX Browns.
It's not even that. I already have the video title. It's gonna be, and I've kind of planned to do this quite early on. Is that it's gonna be called Trying MX Browns for the second time. And right after that, I'm probably gonna do Trying MX Browns for the third time, just to kind of even it out. But yeah, that's probably gonna be in the anniversary of when I posted that first video, so in February. I'm still gonna say they suck, but you know, I'll try and look into the wider perspectives of people who could enjoy them. But you know, personally, nothing's changed. I didn't say it to anyone because they would have thought I was joking. But I actually bought some MX Browns like a month ago. I knew if I did it on Reddit, somebody would be like, "Ah, it's a joke," and I was like, "No, it's serious." But I did it on, I can't remember which Discord it was, and the guy was like, "This is a joke, right?" And I was like, "No, do you actually have?" He's like, "No, this is a joke. This is a joke." And yeah, it took a while to actually explain to him that I was serious and I really wanted to buy some MX Browns. I am using them to trash them, and I've got a video planned where I may or may not destroy them. But yeah, MX Browns, they are what they are.
Which is always a good
Legendary.
thing. Legendary.
I went
for
back.
Sure.
I went back and looked at that first video and saw one of the top comments said something along the lines of "MX Browns are just sandy reds" or something like that. I thought that was that was so good.
That was good. That was good. I like that one.
Someone said, "Can you start nodding and moving your head erotically?" No, Lister, I don't know why you want him to do that or any of us to do that, but I mean, it looks like he might be starting to do that. What keybs are you using right now? So that's actually always one of our questions: is what does everyone have on their desk? Mr. Spoos, we'll start off with Mr. Spoos on this side. What do you have on your desk right now? Is it still the Stellar? Oh, still the Stellar? Is it still the Stellar? The Stellar. Very nice. Very cool. Mr. Glarses, what do you have on your desk?
A Rain with Android PPT 909 and some tangerines.
Oh,
how are you enjoying
the tangerines?
It really pains me to say, like, I've actually been working on a tangerine video for like the rest of the weekend, and it pains me to say, I guess we'll see it soon, but I actually really like them, like really like them.
I like them a lot too.
Yeah,
they're good. Like, honestly, as much as I hate the colors, I'll be honest, like the orange and green doesn't do it for me.
I like that.
You know, I don't think anyone really cares. Yeah, I know. I don't think anyone really. What? I don't think anyone really cares for the colors. But
what? Speak for yourself.
Hey, now you actually like the colors?
Dude, I think it's
literally
beautiful. I didn't believe it would be this orange in real life, and I saw it, and I was like, "Damn, these are nice."
Everyone says they look tasty.
They're pumpkins.
Eat it.
No, they're pumpkins.
They're not.
They look tasty. They're not tasty.
No, the kiwis look tasty.
I think I've actually put them in my mouth maybe 6 or 7 times now. I don't really want to explain why,
Yeah.
but
I'm
I
sure
just
we're
have to
all kind of
double,
curious.
triple. And
I'm not
triple
gonna lie.
check.
I have absolutely put kiwis in my mouth,
Yeah.
like 100%.
The kiwis, like, I remember when I opened up the box of kiwis, I'm like, God damn, these look like gummies. They look really good. Like, they look tasty. I don't know why they do this to us. Melodica's in chat. Why do you want to make us eat the switches? Why did you color them forbidden fruits?
It's like polycarb. you know that classic poly taste.
I love candy.
Oh yeah.
Melodica. I don't know if you guys. I like have candy on my desk. I have Warheads today. If you actually made Switch candy, I would legitimately buy it. Yes.
I probably would as well. That sounds nice.
I'd eat it. Why not?
Mm.
Get
Like a
confused.
mold of-
Put the candy inside the keyboard by accident. Start soldering. Oops.
Dude, I'm
That'd
such
be
a
a mess.
smooth brain. I was literally at the shop at like 4 a.m. the other day, building one of these proto boards with like I think some inks or something, and my dumb ass straight up soldered nearly the entire thing, and I was like, there are no stabs on this board. There's not one. I didn't even have them on the desk, bro. Where the fuck?
My brother did that same thing last week.
I'm so pissed at myself.
I know when you say shop, you mean like your warehouse, but in my mind, I'm just thinking you're in a grocery shop, just busy making your. Like every time you say it, I'm like, okay,
I've got a kiosk at a Kroger's.
It's honestly so funny. It's honestly like,
That would be fun, actually.
but
No, building a keyboard in a supermarket is not a good idea.
Yeah, they fucking kick me
I'm-
out at least
I'm
once.
not
a week.
even gonna think about that.
Is that the title of your next video? What if you just like set up a cart and just like started soldering and just see how long it took to get kicked out?
You see, I do want to do things in public, but I want to. Obviously, I can't really do much now with
Yeah.
COVID. It just doesn't really work. But one of the videos I really want to do in the coming year is go out with that. Like this is with the when I finally put the switches in with the 1 kg springs. I just want to go out in the public and make a video like £50 if you can type one sentence, and just see if anyone can actually do it, because I just want to see the look on people's face when they realize that they literally can't type a sentence on this ridiculous keyboard.
1 word
See
per
if you actually
minute
set
at
that up.
100 miles an hour with that board.
I don't even think I could get that. Like I haven't put it in yet, but I've put it in one switch, and I definitely bit off more than I can chew. Like it's ridiculous. 150 grams is like, it's kind of heavy. It's 1.2 kilogram bottom out, and it's just,
Jesus.
yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
I didn't like. I don't even know why they sell spring. Like, is it spring intended for something else, or is it legitimately intended for keyboards?
I'm not sure actually. I think it's Matt from Mechbox. I don't actually know where he sources them, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's not intended for keyboards.
Out of a
I mean-
fucking mattress.
Yeah,
think it's
maybe it's
been
for
repurposed,
mattresses. Yeah.
That shit's a beauty rest spring.
So what have you put those in?
I put them in. It was MX Clear, I think.
Okay.
No tactility now. I already knew that was going to happen. But it's the one where I made that clip on Twitter where I literally had to. If I was pushing it down, the whole board just tilts up like that. Like it's great. It's amazing.
So can you even get it to actuate?
I can. I have to really press down on
Okay.
it. I can't.
That's so
It's like-
crazy.
It makes every press its own event, and it's. I thought it would be fun. I was really wrong.
So
Okay.
it ends up being a workout, I assume.
Consider the following:
Absolutely.
an entire board of metal Glarses with really heavy springs. I think that the metal heavy-weighted artisan could help counteract some of that resistance.
Potentially, I want to do that, but not for the same reason. So I also went. I already have the story in my mind of using the keyboard and having a little skit where I break my hands, and so the doctor gives me orders that I can only use springs that are really light. So I actually have some 8-gram springs.
8
that I
gram
thought I'd be able
springs?
to. Yeah, 8-gram springs. I think it's actually crazier than the 1 kg springs. My plan was to type a sentence using my breath and make another typing record. But I'm just like, but it actually turns out
Sneezes.
I either have really small lungs or 8 grams is heavier than I thought because I can't blow it down. And so what I was thinking, I actually started off with 15 grams and that was too heavy. And I got the 8-gram ones. Now I'm thinking I just need really heavy keycaps. So I have the Glarses ends. Those aren't quite heavy enough. I asked Salvin if he could do something and he kind of just laughed in my face. But we're working on something.
Well, that's
Working
gonna be
on
fun
something,
then.
hopefully. Yeah, that should be fun. I mean, I will probably have to replace the keycaps because they will just have spit all over them. But you know, it's for the content.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it's for, right? So is 8 grams the lightest you could find then? Or is there like
8 grams is the lightest I could find. I'm sure there
Interesting.
might be lighter, but 8 gram is the lightest I could find.
That's
I'll post
crazy.
That was
I'll post this in chat.
Hey Alex, your opinions on NN? I don't know what that is, Jimmy. I apologize. 8 grams is too heavy for breath. Yeah, use your fans. Well, that would defeat the purpose of using your breath as like, a speed record, right?
yeah. It would also be very inaccurate if I use a fan, blow it down. It would press everything.
Yeah. You need to be accurate, We need to do a whole sentence. So another question I had for you, Glarses, was, I guess more recently you've been trying a lot more keyboards. Out of everything that you've tried so far, is there one in particular that stands out for any reason, whether it be bad or good?
I've tried a bit more of the kind of mid-higher range stuff. I feel like in the next 6 months I'll have a lot of a lot of the more coveted stuff coming in, so I'll probably be answer that. I think the craziest thing I've tried, just in general, was probably the cyberboard. Not because it's like the typing experience is insane or anything; it's solid, but it's like the actual LED panel, like the sloping down of it, I didn't think would be very good. But actually using it in real life, and it's kind of nice, and it's I don't know. The keyboard itself looks insane, but it just
it does.
It felt like a very confused board. Like on one end of the side, you have like these sharp angles and whatnot, but then they also have these kind of curved bezels. So they didn't. It felt like they were trying to both be really elegant and very kind of boxy, and it kind of confused me. But the whole board itself, like the LEDs and everything, was just you put it on your desk and you just show somebody to start laughing. This is just so ridiculous. But yeah, that's been fun. But,
it did look like a fun board. Like honestly, like when I saw it, I was considering joining it. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't know if this is going to be one that stays on my desk where I'm going to use it for a week. It's going to be a novelty item, then I put it on the shelf. But I ultimately decided against it. But when I saw some people's typing tests of them and whatnot, I mean, it looked like genuinely like a nice looking board.
Well, and that was one of the ones that also, like, it actually looked like it looked in the renders. Like, that one, it kind of blows my mind how crazy it looks when people pull it out on stream. I'm always like, wow, that looks exactly like the render did. That's kind of impressive.
Which was really cool too. Like, honestly, the LED things was. I don't know if it was for me. I don't know if I care for the LEDs being on that side. I don't personally think. Like, how was it, in your opinion, Glarses, when you looked at the actual board and typing? Could you see the LEDs?
I could see it. So my first concern was that the slope would mean that I couldn't really see it, and so it was the same kind of, because the original reason I liked it was because as much as having like a brass weight on the back of your keyboard is nice, unless you cut a hole out underneath your desk, you'll see it once, twice a day if for some reason you like to flip your keyboard over. So I was excited to have something that I could actually see every day, but I was worried it wouldn't work that well. But at least from where I was sitting, I could see it just fine, and I could see the time and the date, and I don't know, I usually left it on like the kind of random flashing colors, but even just having that time there, even though I could literally just pull out my phone or scroll down and see it on the computer, was just kind of nice. I wish that I still actually need to get a replacement PCB because my wired mode is not working, but I want to try and do my own custom thing there. If there's any kind of programmability where you can add your own stuff, I think it could actually be semi-useful and not just kind of a really expensive meme, but yeah, I could see it quite well from where I was sitting. It wasn't something that was kind of hidden.
Which is cool. I mean, that's gonna be neat. And then you also mentioned you had some coveted boards on the way. Can you spill the beans on any of those? As he starts smiling. Oh, here we go.
Some things. Oh, actually, a lot of things I can't really say anything about. Yeah. Okay, one thing that so probably my favorite thing that will hopefully be on my desk sometime next year is the J01.
By Jay.
By Jay, man, that boy is beautiful. Like, obviously, I think I've very quickly realized that end game for me means ending the game, and so stopping buying keyboards. But I feel like that will be on my desk for a very long time.
Yeah.
I have recently actually, no, I think they should be shipping out the Vulcan, the KBD fans one.
Oh yeah,
I got one in that, so that should
be
be
shipping. So I know they have tons of delays right now with their shipping warehouse and stuff. Like apparently they moved warehouses or something like that. So I think there is a huge delay coming from KBD fans, but yeah, that should be coming out soon too, I believe. Yeah.
So there's one other thing. I have something special for that one. The 1 kg spring video. I was just gonna put it in a regular board, but I want to put it in something special. I was actually talking to Brian, and some people had the kind of similar idea where we could do like a challenge where I just ship it to some people in the UK and it goes around the USA and people try and get like the fastest typing test they can on it. Which I think could be fun. Logistically, probably a pain because the board it will come in will be really heavy, but yeah, that should be very fun. Just a few of the stuff that should be good fun to type on. As much as switches are nice, it's nice to actually have different keyboards to play about with.
That would be some good content. Like, I'd actually be hyped to
yeah,
bounce around from creator to creator.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Only
when
if
you
I
s-
win. If I don't win, I'd be mad. But
When you say talking to Brian, are you talking about Bad Seed Tech,
oh,
Brian?
Bad Seed Tech. Bad
Yeah.
Seed Tech.
Okay. Does that kind of blow your mind to see, like, I know you put out that first video, what, like 8 months ago now? Does it kind of blow your mind to see in 8 months, I guess, the people you've come in contact with and how much you've grown and how much of a name you've made for yourself already?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I try and explain it to people, and people ask, "Oh, how is it?" And I'm kind of like, "Yeah, it's great." But in my mind, I'm just like, I don't feel much different from when I was making videos for like 50 people or whatever, because there are still like a bunch of videos that I just make for myself or for friends, because I'm still kind of just doing this to entertain myself. Unfortunately, other people seem to enjoy it as well. But yeah, I've been making videos. Or somebody who looks very, very similar to me has been making videos for years. So this is just like it's still the kind of comedy content that I like to do, but on a different channel. So yeah, I've kind of been doing it for 50 views, 100 views, probably for the last 5-6 years, and so yeah, it's great to have like see the channel growing. Maybe I can actually see what I can do in terms of maybe looking to do this a bit more seriously, if I can get my act together and upload. But yeah, getting to talk to like different guys in community, I've been like looking at like Jay and Brian, obviously, and Tara and Alex and all these different guys, and how supportive everyone's been. It's been great. I really enjoyed it. I really appreciate it. So
That's really cool.
Awesome, man. I know you got a busy schedule right now too. Yeah.
yeah, oh man, lockdown was definitely the make the most of the opportunity type thing.
Dude,
I don't think I'll ever have a period of kind of 6-7 months where I don't really have anything to do, and so I was taking my sweet time. Now I'm back at university for my final year. It's been well, I mean, I've uploaded one video in what's been, I think, 5 weeks, from side to side, so that kind of tells you about how well I've managed my time. But I've kind of got it down now. Hopefully I'll be able to get more videos out more frequently, but yeah, I've been busy trying to get back into the kind of groove of doing schoolwork after not doing it for such a long time.
That's important though, and that's one thing. There's two things I'm going to bring up here. First of all, I totally agree with that point. Right now, it's even for me, it's a balancing act of work, personal life. It's definitely frustrating. Like I was literally talking to Spoose. I was about to say Choose in space. It's Spoose and Chase, and I was talking to them last night about just how like chaotic scheduling can be. And it definitely is like crazy. Especially, I don't do YouTube, so I've actually stepped away from doing some of the YouTube content and just focused primarily on live stream entertainments and stuff, because I know how much YouTube content and how much work that is compared to a live stream. You know, yeah, obviously there's different abilities you need for both, but it's crazy how much work goes into YouTube content, and balancing that with school especially is crazy. That's the nutty part. And then something else I quickly wanted to bring up to you that someone had brought up, and I kind of want everyone's opinion in the chat, which is kind of more of a relevant topic for what's happening right now, being, first of all, to get it off the table, guys, I didn't get a SAT 75. Chase, Glarses, Boost, did you guys get a Space 75? Everyone keeps asking, and I need everyone to answer.
I did not, no.
No.
I did not.
So it looks like nobody here did, guys. The second thing is, yes, or no, did I say Space 75? SAT 75.
Yeah, I think you did.
I don't know what the hell
SAT 75.
I'm looking at Space's name. SAT 75. The second thing I want to bring up regarding the SAT 75 was, I guess, the drama and stuff that's kind of ensued with that. And by drama, I mean some of the more harsh words and negativity that has brought from either people who didn't get into the group buy or whatever we want to call it, the raffle. I personally want to start off this conversation by saying, guys, at the end of the day, I know it seems crazy, but there's going to be more keyboards down the road. The SAT 75 is not like this is the last keyboard ever being produced ever. I understand a lot of people wanted it. I don't think it warrants, you know, I think Upas got some crazy amounts of, like, was it death threats and stuff like that too? Definitely does not warrant that, guys. So
imagine typing a death threat on a keyboard about a keyboard.
That is a true keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Literally.
So I don't think it
It-
warrants that. I know some people are super mad about it, but guys, there's so many more things coming out. We have other things to worry about right now, you know, than a keyboard. I know some people, this was really, really important for them, but let's move on from it, yeah? Let's not sit there and dwell on it, yeah?
He's about to take a clavier keyblade and just go. Ham.
I sort of get it. In some ways, I kind of get the first heartbreak of missing what you want. But it's not funny that he's getting death threats, but just seeing the people kind of crying about, I didn't get this keyboard that I technically wasn't entitled to in the first place is like, it's just a bit ridiculous. But you know,
Yeah.
like,
I think
there'll
it
be
needs to
more
I think it
eventually.
needs to be said at this point here, because like I was reading about it today, and like it's crazy. It's absolutely nutty. There's gonna be more.
Yeah.
I mean, like I entered 2 guys. I didn't get one. You know, it's
I didn't even enter.
Yeah.
I 418. I have food to buy and bills to pay.
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome keyboard, and I understand like the hype behind it as just like being one of the most like legendary keyboard designs right now, I'd say. But I don't know. I feel like in the next year or so, with the amount of attention the scene has got, and once hopefully COVID stuff starts whittling away, I can't imagine the stuff that's going to be coming out soon. I'm sure there's some people with some crazy projects on the way.
Yeah.
And to answer some of the questions too about them messing up things and whatnot too, it's gonna happen with new systems. It's gonna happen. You guys have to be understanding too that nobody's perfect. This is a bigger conversation than keyboards that we'll talk about some other time. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that things happen. No one's going in being like, oh boy, I can't wait to mess up this entire group by so I get flamed later. Like nobody's doing that. Like rats. Like no one's doing that. I can promise you. I mean, if you
Guys,
are,
just remember.
it's crazy.
Remember,
But
they're fucking rectangles, dude. They're just rectangles we type on. Don't get that
Yeah.
triggered.
did you say rats? I did say rats.
they're-
Yes.
Yeah, it's all quite crazy. Like I get the passion, you know, the passion is almost nice. Partly I feel like it's less passion and more entitlement, but you know, it's like they are just metal rectangles. Like I was talking to somebody before and I was like, ultimately, as much as they are nice and I do enjoy typing on keyboards and all the kind of stuff, it's like you give me some £10 office keyboard, I'm not gonna cry and just be like, oh, I can't type on this anymore. It's just like
No.
a keyboard. At the end of the day, I can just type on it, you know. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's serious, but like
Not
I
that deep.
wouldn't- Yeah, it's not that deep, you know. But
With that being said, to move to a lighter note, except the catboard's cute. Was there any keyboards you're looking forward to picking up in the future, or something that you've had on your radar for a little while, Glarses?
I do have I have a list, but I can't bother to open it now. One thing I did that was on my radar that I didn't even realize was actually available was the UTD 360C clone.
Okay, yeah.
I had been looking for that for a while, and then I went back into group buy, so I just bought that. But there are I can't really think if I have anything. I don't really think I have anything on my radar that is currently obtainable via group buy. I kind of have a list building of things that I want to own or at least use in some way rather than things coming up in the horizon. Half the time I'll be really on it, like I'm always checking mech group buys and I know exactly, okay, save my money for this, that and that. It never works out, I always end up money being broke, but a lot of the things that I do end up getting these days is sort of content related now because I don't really have the money to just buy everything I like, so I try and either focus on things that I haven't experienced yet or things that I want to try and get for a video. So yeah, honestly the UTD was the only real one that's actually had a group buy of keyboards that I'm interested in. And the Rukia actually, that I've been looking at for a while. Rukia is love, but I think that will go into group buy. That will hopefully have another run.
think I was reading about having another run or something. I think I'm still waiting on the last run, but I can't wait for that board. That board's gonna be super cool. Someone actually did ask a question, and I've saw this being asked 3 times now, about a Glarses desk mat.
The bro mat.
Whoa. Speak of the Burma, and I can't fight it. I almost flipped everything on my desk just to take this out.
Here it is. Keyboards go flying.
Let's do this properly. Okay. It's very dirty because I'm disgusting, but it's still here. Right. So
Simply
we have in the flesh. We have we have the Burma. I love how everybody I'm talking to the guys who really put in the effort to make a lovely mat. You know, they have these great designs, and I'm here, and I literally spent 5 minutes in Photoshop taking my face and slapping it onto a blue background and going done. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was so stupid. I was like, it's so stupid. You know, it's one of those things that are so stupid it's good. I thought it was that. So I went to go and get a design for myself, because some people in my Discord were like, oh, do it, you won't. And I was like, yeah, well, I did it. It came. I love it. It has the intended effect of, it goes even beyond keyboard. So as much as it can be like, you know, you're sitting there and you're looking at another keyboard and you look to your right and you kind of see the face of shame. If you're doing, for example, schoolwork, you know, you're doing a thing, you do a page of work and you're supposed to do 3 and you look at it, it looks disappointed, you go back to work. So it's actually it's a really useful desk mat in terms of encouraging yourself to just not suck.
Is there a matching wallpaper for that?
I've got 2 questions for you.
That would be a good idea.
Right?
Not quite yet, but 2 questions, yeah. Sure.
When is the interest check, and do you need a vendor?
I did a mock interest check where I posted a video of me putting down a mat and then putting down another mat. And it was actually the Bro mat, and then putting a keyboard over it just to show that it did exist. And I did a little, a Google Forms, because I'm still very much in the idea that things that are funny to me aren't funny to anybody else. But I got like 1,000 people saying, yeah, I'll buy this. And I was like, let's do it. I am speaking to vendors, so we'll probably get in touch. But yeah, I think the big one is looking at just making sure I kind of refine the design a little bit. And I know that some people want to have like a purple one and a red one and a black one, which won't really work because, well, but you know, we'll kind of work on that. So I think the only thing I really need to do now is the design is already perfectly refined. I just need to change the colors a little bit, and then I'll kind of get that underway. I'm a little bit busy now. I've got some stuff to do, like my dissertation work, and I've got some deadlines. But once that gets out of the way, hopefully the interest check and then subsequent group buy should go up. It's really not a very complicated desk mat, and I'm really still kind of surprised that I can't tell if people are trolling me. They're like, yeah, I'll buy it, and then it sells like 3 and it's all me buying it. But you know,
yeah, it's you buying your own desk mat.
I'll at least buy 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'd buy one if there's a matching wallpaper. Like I said, you count me in. I want to theme out my desk. You know,
I think the funniest thing that I didn't really consider is this one guy on Reddit made a great point where he was like, I had to explain to my wife why I had this image of this black guy wearing headphones on my desk, and I just didn't consider that because it's me, and so it's normal. But I didn't realize that for some people, besides, you know, already being weirded out into mechanical keyboards of all things, like seeing that on your desk is probably not what the normal person has. But
I like how you just said having your face on a desk mat is normal for you.
Oh yeah, like it.
I got a feeling.
I think the reason that is that I've been looking at myself when I edit for probably like 5-6 years now. So at this point, I'm just sick of my face so much that I just look at it and it's just normal. I'm literally doing the same face right now as I have on the promo. I just realized. So it's like I see this face of disappointment, right? This one right here, all the time. And so at this point, it just doesn't really mean anything to me. But I have to consider that some people and the people around them might find that weird. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't find it weird. I think it's.
Do you have RBF?
Like, do I have
resting bruh face?
I have a really mean resting face. A lot of people when I was growing up, and I guess still now, would always look at my face and be like, "Oh, David, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine," because my resting face when I'm working is kind of just like this, which is most people kind of concern it as if I have a problem, and it's kind of annoying. This is my normal face, but I could be sitting here looking angry, but I'm thinking about like what I had for lunch or what I'm gonna do with the next keyboard and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have resting bro face. You're right. Yeah.
That's hilarious. And someone actually asked, so if you guys have questions, by the way, please ask the questions. And for everyone who says the audio is out of sync, this is intended to be more of a podcast. The video is just kind of extra. We do it off Discord. There might be some weird little delay. I apologize, guys. But Jaguar1290 asks, what is Glorshes studying for?
I ask myself that question every day. No, I'm studying economics.
Oh, this makes sense with why you're stockpiling the MX Browns. And
Absolutely.
Is this part of the study?
That was the initial plan. Yeah, I'm writing a thesis on how to crash the market using lies and deceit by Glarses spectacles. It's a work in process, but I'll soon have the evidence of it. Yeah, economics is fun.
It sounds like some insider trading, man. You're like crashing your own MX Brown stock, but then you're just gonna pump it and dump it.
Yeah, but I'll just deny it over and over again, so no one will prosecute me too
He was
hard,
smart
hopefully.
too, because he mentioned it to me in passing, knowing that I'd make a joke out of it, and now it's become such a joke that
He's like,
nobody knows if it's
crosses
true.
it off in his notebook. He's like, step 3.
Step 3 told Alex about it.
Dumbass.
Step 3 of a 5-step plan.
Quick question for Glarses: what company did you use to make the one-off desk mat? I know I get this asked a lot. I don't personally have a company for one-off desk mats. I don't know if you do. If this was just like a prototype.
I'm Alex's company.
Yeah.
So I can actually explain the process. What I did, I went into Google and I searched "make my desk mat for me," and I found this place on AliExpress that does it. It was literally some random vendor on AliExpress. Like I feel like they all offer the same service. So all I had to do was just send them the image. Luckily, they didn't I'm very happy that it was just to send the image, and it wasn't like I didn't have to explain anything or have them send it back being like, we don't want to do this. But yeah, I honestly just use any random AliExpress vendor. It was really cheap as well. It was like £10 or something like that with shipping to the UK.
That's pretty
It smelled
good.
like fish though when it came. It smelled awful.
They dude, everything, I swear to God, everything in those little, do I have one here somewhere? Anything that comes in these bags. So for people listening to this, it's those clear plastic bags that come with them. These just smell like fish. I don't know why. They always do. They have a very fishy smell.
Yeah, they smell awful.
Yeah.
The drawstring bags.
Yeah. Another question for Space, it looks like. How did you end up deciding on you wanted to pursue making keyboard cables? I wanted to try making a business around keyboard cables as well, but I'm a mouse enthusiast, so making mouse cables. To be honest, Paracord, to also let Ragan answer here in a second too, we did actually go a little bit, I believe, in the Bad Seed Keebcast, if you want to listen to that more in depth. But Ragan, did you have an answer?
Cables are cool.
There you go. But Paracord, there was more of an in-depth answer on that Bad Seed one, if you want to take a listen to that one there, and that's on the Keebcast. YouTube,
Definitely.
podcast, whatever you want to listen to. Keebstonks, yeah. I have designed a desk mat to be printed out once my full setup is complete. See, I just need the Glarses one. I'd get a nice red. I think I'd do a red, me personally. Nice bright red.
Yeah, red would be nice.
Yeah. And like I said,
Can you make it into a comforter?
ooh, a whole lineup for that.
Just even thinking about the fact that people would buy this just makes me laugh. But I feel like I'm stealing money from you for this stupid. If people will buy it, I'm not going to complain. But I think it's one of those days where jokes went too far. But yeah, we could probably do a bunch
Or
of
not
stuff
far
with it.
enough.
Or not far enough. Yeah. I mean, I do have. I don't even know if I want to talk about it.
Please do.
Talking to one of my friends. Well, I don't know. Late night conversations always get down to the lowest Jane, but I don't know how he got to it, but he had this. He was talking about doing something about recolors, and it was what was it? It was about how you. So the first thing was I was going to try and do a JWK recolor speed run and see how long I could go from sitting just at my computer and then having like a group buy up for JWK for some kind of linear recolor and see if I could do it in like half an hour and just get a group buy. But the second one I wanted to do is just get like another super low effort one with like it would be a brown stem in an all black housing, and it would just have some kind of like MX Brown linear name, and it would just be a regular JWK, and it would just be something stupid along the lines of having a actually linear MX Brown themed switch. And like I want to do it, but I would make a video at it about it, and I don't really want to encourage people to just make pointless recolors. So I feel like I really want to do it, but I don't want to see JWK is now backed up for 4 years because everybody's making their dumb like meme recolor. So I'll probably not do that. But,
I think it might be named like JWK MX Brown, but this time actually linear, something like that.
In parentheses.
In parentheses, yeah.
Call them smooth browns.
Smooth brown.
I should just call them MX Browns, and that would really be fitting. But, you know.
JWK MX
And then Cherry
Brown.
comes knocking on your door and be like, "We have to have a word with you." A Cherry representative.
Cherry actually did. Wait,
No
sorry,
way,
I
really?
remember. No, so I got in contact with them. I didn't think they've like seen any of my stuff. Oh man, this is hilarious.
No way.
Oh, he's getting it, guys.
no.
Can't tell if it's a cease and desist or if it's like a
So-
clack.
I wanted to try some of their hyperglides, and I'm cheap, so I was like, "Hey, send me some over." And they sent me this letter, and they sent me this little package, right, with the actual cherry branding and everything.
No way.
And so they sent me this letter. I don't know where it is, but it was basically like, "Hi, Glarses. We know you're the biggest fan of MX Browns, so we've got a little package for you." And I was like, "No, they didn't." So it came. I don't know if you can see it, but let me take off a keycap.
Is that
Yeah,
a macro
it's-
pad?
No PCB, but they sent me these.
A little switch tester.
Little switch tester or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
And I was hoping I would get like some MX Reds or some MX Blacks, but they sent me 6 MX Browns. And from that day, I've had a vendetta against Cherry.
Well played, Cherry.
Yeah, that was very funny. I didn't think they'd be into it. I thought they'd just
That
be
is
like, his lawsuit. But I was really impressed. Like, I'm still gonna get you guys back, but like, you know, that was quite funny. You know, so yeah, Cherry have a funny spot, or whoever runs their social media does. I thought that was really funny.
Would have been great if
You're
essentially like the
single-handed.
mold or the tool for MX Browns and be like, "Do whatever you want with this. Go ahead,
That
start production."
that would be funny. See, what I want to do, I have so many dumb ideas that I feel like this is kind of why I'm really pushing it, because there's so many silly things that are just really high effort memes that I want to do. Like I saw Linus went to the cherry factory, and I'll see if I can go there and make like a 2-minute skit where I'm taking like a tour, and I get to the part where they make the molds, and I just drop a bomb in and run out and like do like with the sunglasses on and like looking at the explosion and stuff like that. And that's the whole video. Like I set it up to be a serious tour, and that's the whole video. I just blow up the cherry molds for the MX Browns. Now I've said this, they probably won't.
Wait, can I interject for 1 second? If you guys noticed what he just said there, that's step 4 to his plan, is make Cherry not able to produce MX Browns. Just pointing that out.
All the last 4,000.
He just exposed
man.
himself. We
Wait,
heard your
is,
complaints, so
is
we took the stem piece. Yeah.
in the chat.
Man, if you still had
Oh,
a couple
Cherry.
years at Cherry, if you still had a couple years left in university, I would say you should go for like an internship at Cherry or something like that. That would be absolutely hilarious.
Undercover Asia. Amazing.
They're like, we've stumbled across your 10-part YouTube series. We know what you're doing here.
That's not me. That's Glarses.
I think it'd be great
I'm
too. Oh, go on, sorry, Glarses.
I'm just kind of happy that I haven't got like a lawsuit in this thing, because I can't imagine that I'm really doing any kind of damage to the sales of MX Browns. But like, I don't want to go like, "Oh, I got a letter in the post. Whom? What is this? Cherry saying seasoned," and I kind of like, I really don't want to get on their bad side, because I do actually love the sound of Cherry housings, and I think MX Blacks are great. It's just, yeah, MX Browns just.
That's me and
It's
Romer
not
G
even like.
switches. I feel you there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Romages are awful. I got one sent to me, and I was like, "Oh, it can't be that bad,but they're terrible."
No, they're terrible.
hate that.
They're a terrible
Yeah.
switch. I think it's one of those switches that that was actually legitimately my first, I'm gonna use the word mechanical switch. And I remember using that and I was like, this is such a great keyboard. Like, wow, I see the hype behind mechanical keyboards. And then I went to like, I think my next keyboard after that was an MX Red. And I was like, what? Why is there so much difference? Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. It's kind of like they just went, hey, here's the mechanical switch kind of that exists. How can we make it worse? Like I feel like a lot of people just think, how do we take what already exists, put our logo on it, and not even consider whether it's good or not, and just make it bad? And I think that's what happened with the Roma G's, but it's a shame. It's a shame.
And I think another thing Cherry should do with all the stuff and all the criticisms MX Browns have received over especially the last year, they should legitimately go back and just redo the MX Brown switch. They should make it a linear switch.
They should make it a linear. Oh my god! Why not just a better tactile?
Oh, yeah, if they made a better
actually
tactile.
love that.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I'm not like I think people seem to come under the idea that I just want like break your finger type ductility. I don't like that. Like I said, I didn't really like the Zelia's V2s. I think maybe lighter springs in Holy Pandas have been okay, but honestly, I kind of like the Ergo Clear type tactility.
Yeah.
Or just something like I like the what was it? The SB Star Purples. Those are quite nice. But I would love to see, honestly, Cherry make something like a what's it called? Like a clear with lighter springs or something, because I still think Cherry housings probably sound the nicest in everything I put them in. It's just a shame that MX Browns have that piss poor tactility, you know. But I would love to. If Cherry reaches out to me and goes, Glarses, right, we've heard your complaints. We're going to do a complete new line of brand of Switch and we want to get you on it. I would be apprehensive because I feel like they're probably trolling me for something. But if it was serious, I love that. Like, because Cherry make great Switches and they are, I get a lot of flack for this, but I still think they are the gold standard in the sense that it is their design that all of these things have cropped up for. Just they're not gold finishing, but they are the gold standard.
That's a fair statement.
I mean, there's a reason why some people pay, and I know I have too, for like new old stock black switches, right? Or vintage black switches from Cherry. So
you're sending me some, right, Alex?
Actually,
right?
Yeah, I have the pack. You actually still need some.
Yeah.
I'll send you some. Romer G gang represent. I don't want to represent that gang.
So what Glarses is waiting for is when he can one day sell vintage Browns.
I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. I've invested a lot of money that I don't have into this. This can't fail. So I'm really doing everything to make sure that I can make my returns on this.
The pile of Browns are just outside of the frame, right next to you.
Yeah.
Like, no, definitely not. There's a machine like pressing the molds right now.
Oh, that's another thing I saw actually. It wasn't anything to do with molds, but it was this guy who made the Vent Blackinator, where it was this machine that just taps down on the switches over and over again. That is hilarious. I need that, like, unironically. That was probably some of the best meme stuff I've ever seen.
It's a pretty big, like, decent sized little contraption for one switch too.
Yeah.
I remember looking at that too. But if you guys have more questions for Glorses or anyone else, please put them in chat. We'll get to reading them. I'm reading everything. I'm sure the other people are as well. Everyone's reading chat, so don't feel like you're not reading your chats. I promise everyone, we are. But no, honestly, I think changing, like trying different switches and stuff, is kind of what got me into the hobby too. To be honest, like past buying different keyboards and artisans and stuff, like. I literally just did a huge organization of all my switches, and I'm like, God, I actually have a lot. And like you said too, I actually tried the SP Stars recently, and I love them. I think they're good. What is it? This is a great question I want to read by Jaguar. What is everyone's most feel-good moment of the hobby? Start with you, Glarses.
Well, this was quite funny, but no. I think it's probably probably when I got like a GK64, I think it was. No, I think it's. Okay, the GK64 one is good. So when you actually, the first time you actually kind of, when you build a keyboard for the first time, like I know it's all fun and games and ha, you know, we do this, but I love to play with keyboards just as much as anyone. So the first time I actually put a keyboard together and the whole thing worked, it was like my first time building a PC, but like on steroids. It was just such a good feeling that it worked. I never had to touch that damn cheap £10 desoldering thingy again. Like that was a great experience.
Yeah.
Then my wire popped out my stab, but that's another story.
Oh.
So yeah.
Feels
First time
good, just
building
turns
keyboard and
into
making it
feels
work.
bad. Yeah. I think that's kind of close to mine too. Mine was when I soldered my first board, because I'd been so intimidated by it for so long. You know, I was trying to strictly only go for hot swap boards. So I was legitimately so intimidated by it. And I ended up soldering the board, and I was like, oh man, this feels like I did something like scientific, you know? Feels like I'm an engineer now. Feel like I could build a building. Or a submarine or something more complicated. What about you, Chase?
Mine, it's the same feeling anytime I get out with a board working properly. That's always the best feeling every single time. It never fails to be like no problem. And it, like what Glarses said, I think a lot of this is very similar to like building PCs and stuff like that. It's just like when you don't have to troubleshoot anything, that's the best feeling. That is the best feeling.
Oh, yes.
I already know spooses.
What is it?
I got too many memes. Which one do you want? Go
Were you
ahead.
gonna say
Ragan, just
meeting?
say it.
Were you gonna say meeting Alex Oto's?
No.
Because that definitely is not the, the top thing.
I was gonna say watching Clavier's eyebrow cam for the first time.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, I think something that was really cool to me was just how much you don't know about the keyboards when you start off, and like everyone buys their starter keyboard. Like a lot of people don't go from like no keyboard to like these really expensive high-end keyboards in group buy right now. You start off with something, obviously, right? And I guess it's like the low comes before the high, but like it's that first time for me when I had a ducky and then this guy came over to like chill and we were making a cable and he brings over a Rama with like Olivia on it, and then I'm like just like looking back and forth, and I was like, bro, your fucking keycap weighs more than my keyboard, like goddamn. And then so that's the low, but then you're like, okay, well now I'm interested, now I'm gonna research it, and then you buy your first custom, and like that feeling when it comes in, and then like getting all your parts together, that's fun. That was like definitely a really big thing for me when I was getting into the community.
Yeah, you just touched on something I didn't even think about. Is just things arriving from some of these group buys.
Yeah,
that is one of the best feelings when they finally come in. Like that almost blows Christmas Day out of the water.
No, for me, it's not even about receiving it. It's like, oh boy, I didn't get ripped off this time. Like that's for me. That's what I feel. Like, oh boy, I don't have to go file a PayPal complaint and deal with this for the next 60 days.
I thankfully haven't had any of those situations, so I don't understand that problem. But you're at a different scale than me, so I understand how that could happen.
Yeah. Let's read some comments here. Someone said the wire pop LOL so relatable. I feel you.
I did that like 2 days ago.
Soldering seems
My
crazy.
wire, in the rain, my wire has popped as well, and it's such a
hassle. Yeah.
It's such a kind of, you see the fade to gray and the tears and the rain coming down on the screen. It's like that just continuously every time you press it, and it's just so. I hate keyboards, man.
Dude, I'm sitting there with like 2 pairs of like tweezers, and I'm like, I am not resoldering this board, and I'm like doing surgery to get the stab wire back in from the top through the plate.
You can do it, man. It's I've done it like on every board possible.
The plate is completely closed up and everything's soldered. It's hard to do without like desoldering.
Yeah.
Hasn't KBD fans put out something to combat the wire popping out?
I'm concerned. I don't know how that's gonna work.
V2 stabs.
I saw those. Well, it's not even the V2 stabs. They have these like little plastic thingies. I think Chase.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them in chat.
Okay.
I'm just concerned that those might cause more rattling, or they're gonna cause unneeded sound, or something else. I don't know. Like, I'd have to try it out first.
It's so
What
weird.
in the way is this?
They're,
What is this?
That's
They've-
actually really cool.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
But to
they
read some
found
more,
a problem.
getting my
and they
first
found
hand wired cut in 2013. That's something I've not done yet. I've not hand wired a keyboard. When I won a
Me neither.
Latrialum raffle, I'm jealous, Nord. I haven't won one of those since she started. Most feel-good moment is a tie between joining a new community of Keeb enthusiasts. That's also a really good feeling, finding like a little home for yourself. Making a product and getting to know each of them and watching them and their business products grow and helping another person who needed help. I think helping is another big feel-good moment too. Like when someone can actually come to me and like they're asking and trusting me with advice. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, let's get this going. I'm waiting for my first and Latrialum to arrive. So I guess that's another question I actually have. I don't think I get into these questions, or we get into these questions very much with everyone. Glarses, do you own any like resin artisans? Not the metal ones, more the
one or two.
Okay.
It's I think the greatest artisan I have is the it's this one with the encased MX Brown stem.
That's right.
That is really something. But I'm not too. I've got some other ones. I know, jam in the chat. Thank you. I have a few, but I'm not really. Honestly, I think that whilst most artisans look cool by themselves, I think they kind of look silly on a lot of boards. Like I've seen someone that looks really good, but like, I'm either gonna have them on every key, like Tiny did with her food one, or just not. There are a few that I think I'll pick up. I don't think I'll ever have a very big collection of artisans when this is all said and done.
I like when they match keycap sets. Like I think that complements really well.
Yeah.
For me, artisans, I love artisans. I was collecting them more than I was collecting boards and keycaps and stuff like that. But after a while, when I start to look at the boxes of artisans I have, I'm like, me personally, I know there's people who like to keep them in boxes. I like to have some stuff on actually on boards. And it got to a point where I had too many boxes of artisans. And by too many boxes, guys, I mean like two or three of those 20 box thingies, and most of them were filled with duplicates and stuff like that I had picked up along the last year. So maybe 45 keycaps, and yeah, I ended up just starting giving most of them away, to be honest, for streams and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of my thoughts on what Glarses is like. Can I have one? I'll send you one, Glarses. I got you. Tiny's artisan keeps are legendary. Tiny's stuff is so entertaining to watch. I don't know if you guys follow Tiny. Please go check it. And then, by the way, guys, I know we haven't done this. I think we just got so into talking. If you guys don't already sub to Glarses on YouTube, please go check out his YouTube. Chozo, can you please and thank you?
You will not regret that.
Yeah, please. If you guys haven't watched a single Glarses video, which I doubt anyone here has, definitely check him out. One sec, thank you.
More, yeah. I feel like it's not. I don't like plugging my channel, but I genuinely don't really know what to explain it to. And it's like, I was having this conversation the other day where I've had it a few times now. It's like, if, for example, like you, Alex, right? You say you stream, or Ragan, right? You make cables. You can kind of explain that. So most people, they always seem to start with the what is it? Oh, okay. So I say I have a YouTube channel. I make keyboard videos. They go. A lot of people know me. I play the piano. Literally one. Here we go. Right here. And they'll go, okay, you collect piano keyboards, and I go, no, mechanical keyboards. And from that point, I feel like the stem I have is unusual, because Keha and you and everyone else can go, okay, no, I build them for customers or for myself, and I stream them, or I make cables for them. I say, I make funny keyboard videos, and it just doesn't clear up anything for them. So I kind of have to sit. I remember the first time I showed my mom and dad, I sat there for half an hour explaining it, and they still didn't get it, and they still don't get it, and I don't think they ever really will. But they like the fact that I'm doing something creative, so they won't ask too many questions. But it's such a, first of all, mechanical keyboards as a hobby is still so niche, but I have to explain that I take that silliness one step further and make like entertainment videos about them. It's like it's not. You kind of have to see it to get it, and even if you see it, you probably won't get it. So, the reason why I struggle to plug my channel is that I just don't really know what to tell you what you're getting into, and so I can't really put that on people without giving them a few days worth of explanation, and that's not great when you have like an
Business
icebreaker
card,
where it's
man.
like what would I put on there though? Hi,
Paragraph explaining all of that with a QR code to your channel.
or hi, MX Brown suck. Watch my videos.
I think
QR
Osiris
code.
really kind of hit the nail on the head too, where it's in the times now where there's so much toxicity. The comedy in videos kind of brings us back to how absurd the stuff people get heated about is. I agree with that, and I think even the time where like the last year especially has been really great for content. Like I don't know what content was like pre-COVID, to be honest, because like I started doing it as just by happen chance that COVID started.
Pretty much December, right?
Yeah, and then even my channel was not very big, but it's definitely crazy how much funny stuff can really lighten your mood during all this craziness in the world too. It's crazy. It's nutty. That's Pog.
So,
But I want to ask another question too. We usually ask this: how come group A's take a year? It depends, Mang. It depends on what board and production and how much. But one question we always ask, that's always a reoccurring question on the channel, and Chase is probably thinking the same thing I am, is you've been in the hobby for a little while now. I think we're all in the same kind of boat in terms of, I guess, age of the hobby, for how long the four of us have been in it. What have you come to, I guess there's three questions here, come to expect with the group, like group buys, all that kind of other stuff? What advice would you have for new people regarding group buys and keyboards? We'll leave it off at that for now, and we'll ask the third one later.
So I get a lot of comments like, well, actually no, I get a lot of comments that are, haha, MX Browns are bad. But second after that, I get a lot of comments with either comparisons between switches or, hey, make a recommendation about some kind of budget-friendly keyboard. I kind of try when I have time to ask them what, and it's difficult because you can't really ask somebody how far they want to get into keyboards without them getting into keyboards and seeing if they like it or not. But what I usually try and recommend is getting something, is not dropping a lot of money in unless you're like Bill Gates level and it just doesn't matter to you. Just trying to get something hot swappable and cheap, so you can kind of try out different switches. In my mind, I do actually need to make a list properly, but I do have kind of a mental list of things that I recommend people try in terms of what covers, I think, the biggest range in the fewest switches in terms of what MX has to offer. So it's usually some kind of linear, some kind of light heavy linear, really tactile, like kind of no pre-travel, large peak tactility, and then low tactile MX Browns type stuff, and the box clickies and like a clicky click jacket, which I think most people who are interested in are the kind of gamers people, and they have tried the cherry stack reds, blacks, browns,
yeah,
blues,
exactly.
so they kind of know what those are. And so I tend to make the recommendation that if you're getting into this hobby, I think that getting boards and stuff is great and fun and keycaps and stuff, but you probably just don't know or have tried enough to really not waste your money on stuff, without having to become that guy who buys the thing and then they don't like it, and so they're selling it for £7 million on mech market. So it's like, get a GK61, a GK64, any of these kind of really, really cheap stuff. Get a few switches, try them out. Definitely try your hand at lubing as well. Do that early on so you get that experience. And from there, you will start to form ideas about what you like in the hobby and what you might want to get moving forward. It's really difficult to try and explain to you what kind of high-end board you'd get if you've never tried your average stuff, like your creams and your gateway yellows and your regular boards. If like I don't really feel, I see it sometimes where it's like, hey, it's not much, but it's mine, and the guy's first board is like a Jane V2, and I'm like, damn. But it doesn't happen often enough. I think enough people are hopefully getting the right advice and kind of starting not cheap, but just starting with the kind of base stuff that will really tell you what you like or what you don't like. Yeah, that's my very waffly way of saying get a hotspot board and try some switches, or get a switch tester.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm on board with that too. I mean, I don't know about you guys in chat. Maybe you guys can answer too. When I got my first keyboard, my first switches, let's say, into a custom board, I didn't know anything. I was picking up still MX, because again, Glarses said, coming from playing video games, the only thing Best Buy is advertising is browns, reds, and blues. Maybe the Razor greens, which you're not gonna find. But I didn't lube my first. I didn't lube my first switches until like I was way more comfortable with things. It was so intimidating coming in. And there is that whole thing where it's like, man, I wish someone could now sit down and tell me buy a hot swap board to start. I bought 3 tofus. All right, because I didn't know how to desolder, and I was like, I got one made for me, and then I just
throw the whole board out.
Yeah, later. But I wish someone told me to go buy a hot swap. I didn't even know what hot swap was, and that's the crazy part. And I feel like now, because even we have Glorious doing it, we have a few other companies which are more mainstream doing hot swap boards. Maybe I would have known what that was a year and a half, 2 years ago, but that is definitely a really good point.
Well, something else Glarses kind of said was, starting out like at a, he wasn't exactly saying this, but I just kind of struck in my mind of like making sure you don't go, if you're starting out, not going too far with your first board, because I feel like part of the appreciation of the hobby is like climbing from a lower end board and moving up and up and up.
Yeah.
And like, because if you start, like if all of a sudden you buy a SAT 75 as your first board, like I don't really know where you go from there. And I don't know like what your appreciation for keyboards at that point is going to be like.
Man. That's like your parents buying you a Land Rover when you're like 16. Just not. Yeah, man, you've got to get the Corolla, the 04 Corolla first, all right?
I sort of get it though, I'm in one sense of mind that for some people this is really just, I want a nice board to go with my 3090 SLI computer and like whatever, I'll do it, anyone can get it. But I really endorse the idea of started from the MX Browns, now I'm JWK. You really appreciate the kind of progressive, okay, I tried this and this is different, and I don't know, I think it's kind of corny, honestly. I honestly think that if you gave some guy who's never used a mechanical keyboard some kind of top-end board with properly lubed switches, preferentially lubed switches with some nice keycaps, he would love it. He might like it more if he's tried different things, but I don't think you would never. How am I trying to say this? I think you would still enjoy having a high-end keyboard if that's the first board you use. For sure. But yeah, at that point you have to question. That's why I kind of question how far and what do you really want to get out of this hobby. So yeah.
And there's a lot of different things that go. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. There's a lot of things that go into a keyboard, so it's hard to compare to when, I see a lot of people will jump in and they'll buy one really expensive keyboard off Mech Market. And I've had this happen where someone's DM'd me and been like, hey, bought this like $1,300 board on Mech Market. It's already built. Are these switches even good? I'm like, damn, like you really went balls deep in this. Like, and it's just tough to explain, being like, I don't know if they're good because I don't know who modded them and if they were modded properly, because you can always not mod something properly. So it's always tough. And I definitely, I see more appreciation if you were, like Ragan said, like you start off with a cheaper car than a Land Rover, right? You get more appreciation when you're kind of doing something yourself, or you're starting off with something that maybe you can kind of ease into and learn, Yeah.
Man, he watched like 3 recommended YouTube videos coming from like car videos, and then I was like, you know what? Let's jump on this Mech Market page and get me one of these keyboards.
That was sort of me. When I seriously wanted to get a board, after I watched a lot of videos, it's damn Teotypes, damn you and your stupid freaking amazing boards and your typing tests. I remember so clearly because it was just hilarious. The first board that I really fell in love with was the Jane V2, and I was like, not kidding. I was like, okay, I've got this Corsair K70, it broke because that's why I wanted to get a new one. I was like, great, I'll just get a Jane V2 and I'll be done with it. we already know that didn't happen, and we already know why it didn't happen. But yeah, I feel like for some people that would have actually been their first board, because I've seen people who have basically no history on Reddit and stuff, and like have big bank account, want all of these crazy boards. I again, if that's you, right, you could, that doesn't matter, like you could end up just getting a collection of really sought after and high-end boards because you have the money for it, and I feel like you still would eventually garner that appreciation just because your collection would grow. But yeah, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. No.
And you know what's funny about that too? You mentioned like watching Teja do something. When I had started, and I think I've mentioned this part of the story, there's more parts to this too, which I've never mentioned on stream. Like I had seen one of Clavier's acrylic boards, and I was like, this is the most beautiful thing ever. And then I see out of stock, and I was so like, I don't know what to do. And that was how I saw custom keyboards. And then looking into it, saw one of Teja's videos, and you're going through Teja's videos, and they all sound good. And you're like, I can literally, and you don't know with the, like me personally, I didn't know that you can loop switches, loop stabilizers. There's no mods in my mind. I'm like, all right, I'll buy one of these, really one that Mr. Teja types is getting. I want the keyboard to sound like this. You go buy some parts, and like, it sounds nothing like this. And then in my mind, I'm like, he definitely edits his videos like 110. Mine doesn't sound at all like this. Like that's what you're kind of thinking.
My GK64 sounds like trash. I was sort of like,
Teja lied to me. But it's one of those things where now you can, now that you know how to mod them, you're like, oh, okay, so this actually does sound like that. There was no editing, like, or if there was, it's just because of noise reduction or something like that in the background. That's kind of my mindset now that I can appreciate it more. But originally, that's literally how I was. Like, I bought the tofu and I bought something else at the time, the Rama, and I'm like, why does this not sound like Mr. Teja? Like, no looping switches, no looping stabilizers, nothing like that. Just like, why does this sound like a mess?
He's really destroyed a lot of people. I always find it funny to think like you sort of know roughly the number of people who have been sucked into the idea of a hobby being you get this keyboard and it's going to be great by looking at the number of views on his it's his Fiel with the Holy Pandas.
Oh yes.
I've not come across that many people who haven't seen that video. I think it's kind of just it's a kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's one of those things, you have to check mark off when you're in this hobby. It's like first seeing your first Teo video and getting your first little custom and learning about looping. It's one of those things that really sucks people into the hobby.
Someone in chat said gateway drug.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
There was one video you did too where you're doing like how people do sound tests and stuff like that, and at the end you mention everyone is Teja.
Yeah. Those are one of the kind of videos that I thought of in a toilet and just decided to write down. I remember when this was a really great story in that I had the whole idea to do a second one. I kind of want that to be like one of my defining videos, so I'll hopefully do them every like 6 months or stuff when I get enough ideas. But no, it was actually Cohen Romers who kind of, I was going to work with him, and then he's like, hey, I've got this idea and you can do this thing with Taya, and then we kind of like collaborated on that. So I messaged Taya. I was like, hi. No, this is after like we talked already, and I was like, yeah, I have this idea for a video. It's really stupid, but I want you to be right at the end for that brilliant plot twist. And he was like, yeah, sure. And he recorded the video that day, and I was like, wow, that was easy. So
he has his credit card out. How much do I owe you? Like that.
Yeah. I kind of forgot what I was. What did I say at the beginning? There was a point to that story that I was.
You were on the can thinking of the video.
Oh right, yes, the how a typing test is done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had kind of got upset. I'd seen a lot of typing tests, but I'm very particular when I see a typing test. I know it seems kind of dumb because the general video is just these kind of either really meta things or just general kind of typing styles that people can relate to. Or Taying, which is meta and not related. Okay, never mind. But like it was I see a lot of people typing, and I know it doesn't really matter, but my favorite typing tests are people who maintain a certain speed but consistently. I really don't like it when people stop and start. And there was just like a few other things that just annoyed me, where somebody has this. I don't know. I think it was the first time I saw one of the. It might have been this. What's the I can't remember. Some 65%. And the video was like 10 seconds long, and he shows the board, and he just goes like, "That was it." Like, and I was like, "Where's the rest of the? Where's the mod? Where's the?" And it was out of that frustration that that video series was born. Ultimately, now I just think that typing tests are. I think they're spurious in a sense that people say, for example, and you see it all the time. For example, it would be Tangerine's sound test, when really you've got your keycaps, your board, your plate, your desk, your microphone, and it's really a. Here's what my keyboard with Tangerine switches and keycaps and a case and a plate and specific desk materials and a microphone,
Probably
and
lube.
processing looks like, and the lube and the consistency of lube and the films you use. Here's what it sounds like, but nobody does it like that. So I kind of feel like sound tests in general are just titled incorrectly. I think they should be, here's my demonstration of what my board sounds like with all these variables. Or more often than not, it's like Keycult sound test or Cream sound test, but Creams can sound like so different depending on all the variables that I just listed, that it should be clear to people that this is not what you've said it is. So
the creams are an excellent example.
I'm trying to actually build an army of keyboards to use in the sound test videos that the Switch reviews. Not because I'm trying to have a specific, these are what this Switch will sound like on every board, because that's dumb. I just want to have a consistent 3 or 4 boards that I use, and maybe like a wild card one, like a special one that, let's say somebody has like a special board they want to showcase or whatever, I'd use that there just to kind of get an idea of what it could sound like in something different. But just so that eventually, let's say I keep doing this however many years and I have a library of like 50 Switch reviews, then from a certain point you can go back and actually compare all the boards and kind of have an idea about what is different from Switch to Switch rather than what is different from keyboard to keyboard. So it's more objective in that sense. That's kind of what I'm working towards in that.
Which is, I think, good too, because even me, I'm no saint when it comes to it. Like when I'm doing a sound impression, or what I label it as, like build thoughts and stuff like that now, because I've kind of changed my labeling too. It's just literally typing on the keyboard. Like I don't mention. That's actually one thing that's a good point too. I said I don't mention how many desk pads I have. Right. So that is a very, very good point. Typing demonstrations. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Sturm Tiger. I agree. I definitely agree. By the way, guys, do we have any last questions for Glarses? Because we are hitting our hour-and-a-half mark. Chat, if you guys want. Leave the questions in. I'll try to get to a few of them. Chase, Ragan, do you guys have anything else?
I don't have anything specific.
Nothing specific, man. We've covered it all. What are you drinking?
Piss. No, it's orange squash. It's orange squash.
That was fun.
So Glarses does stream. He does stream, guys. If you see the Glarses one right there, he does stream. He's on his I think 4th iteration of his Lube 30 Witches stream. So
third one, yeah.
Third one,
But so I'm kind of having the aim of my stream is not so much to be good and to do good keyboard content, but like I said it already, like my stream content for the longest time will probably be like D tier, just because I'm here to not be lonely. Like I've been doing a lot of lubing and modifications and stuff and more building by myself. And I don't do it with music on. Like I feel like everybody takes a really lax approach to modding. Like I'm not here to kind of like listen to a podcast and have fun. I would kind of sit there with like my Switch opener and everything, and actually just set a timer and just go ready, steady, and just kind of do it. But that kind of makes me go crazy after a while. So streaming has kind of helped me to not go crazy whilst I do the kind of mundane keyboard chores. And I will start hopefully doing like, I need to get a top-down camera, but hopefully I can do some more kind of keyboard build stuff. But I just want to keep it short because it's the kind of hour maybe an hour 15 minutes I would spend in the evening just doing it anyways. So why not just turn the camera on and have a scuff stream, as they say.
Yeah, that's
Every
the
one
one
of
thing
my
I need.
streams is a scuff stream.
Oh, Reagan, I love
No.
your streams though.
Dude, I put up a mistake counter last time. It was high.
That's a great idea. I'm gonna steal that. Thank you.
Yeah, I should just have a command that just adds 1 to it every single time, but god damn.
It's a
They
shame.
really didn't let me forget every time I needed to add a number to that.
It's a shame you didn't stream the one where you forgot the stabs this morning, or was it yesterday? That would have been great. Great content.
That would have been so funny.
Thanks to all of you for sharing your passions with us. Well done, Mr. Bullets. Thank you. By the way, if you guys haven't, we have a few people who stream in the chat as well. Bullets, Katana X Kaji in the chat as well. A bunch of people here who stream. Osiris was here earlier. Salvin CNC was here earlier. So definitely check them out too.
Oh, this is a good question. Centaurius 101 says, what Keeb switch, aside from MS Browns and such, did you just hate? What annoys you more than sound tests? So actually, big secret, I probably almost dislike Altemu Reds more than I dislike MS Browns. Just because the ones I had in this board I got, it was this like £30 board I got to experiment with stuff, but they were genuinely scratchy, like you couldn't ignore it. And like most people think they know Scratch, but you don't know Scratch until you try something like this, where it's like it's generally just like rubbing sandpaper on itself every key press. Like it was awful. It had diffuse travel as well, and it was so those Artemu Reds, or at least I don't know if they've changed it since then, but the ones I tried were like MX Browns are bad for the kind of are philosophically bad. Artemu Reds are physically bad.
Like, are we talking scratchier than unlubed creams?
No, much. Like compared to it,
That's crazy.
Creams are like a buttery dream.
See, and you know what? I really, for me, my worst scratchy switch, which I just couldn't like. There was no way that me using that switch, I didn't even feel like breaking them in, because everyone's like, you gotta break them in. I'm like, I'm not breaking these in. Was blueberries. I did not like those switches. And they were just a scratchy mess for me. For everyone really, I mean, I think it is technically a kale switch, but those were I think they were the cream housings with some special tactile stem.
My brother bought those. He basically used cherry housings and called them cherry berries.
That's kind of cool.
Cherry berries. It's kind of neat. When is the last time Reagan streamed? I don't know. Whenever he decides to stream, he streams. What else do we got here for last questions? I think I just saw one. Bro, I found your videos around the time I discovered Keebs. Love them. They're hilarious. There you go, Glarses. That's for you. Elgato just released an app that allows you to use your phone as a webcam. Oh, so there you go. Someone's saying that you could use that as your top down if you'd like.
I did it before, but it's more about the mount now. I think what I'm gonna have to do is use my actual camera that I can properly tilt down as the top down, and then use my phone camera as the webcam. The reason I don't want to do that is because I can't do this silly zooming in, so I'm gonna have to get away around that. But Theremin Goat. Oh, we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, my stream went down. Mr. Theremin Goat asked the question before that I didn't answer because it was the ironic, what's your favorite Switch question that I can never properly answer because it always changes, and like I tend not to answer it because the sort of people who ask me are usually the sort of people who will then go and buy that Switch like it's the best Switch when I keep saying in caps it's my preference, and then they still go, oh right, so it's the best one. I'm like, no, it's what I like. So I would say, or I don't know. What do I actually? I don't currently have a favorite Switch. Any of you guys have a favorite Switch right now? I don't really.
I like tangerines. Okay, someone said something not symmetrical. I need to fix it now. Frequency. I'm sorry. We'll put Glarses right in the middle. Hold on.
I would say I definitely have maybe like a top 3 right now. I don't think I could really take one and say it's my favorite.
Ooh, I just got alpacas.
What do you think?
For me, I mean, like, JWK switches are great. I like JWK switches. Xerox switches are great. Tangerines are great. truth of the matter is, like, and this is me, I always say this too, there's some really great switches that literally the moment you put some lube on them, if you're using them in a normal use case scenario where you're not sitting there like physically going like, wow, this is really smooth, this one here is like a milligram smooth, or whatever measurement of smoothness you want to measure it in, they're all going to feel pretty smooth. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like they're all pretty damn smooth. There is some sound differences with obviously some of the housings, and putting films in definitely helped too, at least from my experience. But a really big factor in keyboards is your keyboard, the case, and what keycaps you're using, what plate material you're using. The acoustics of a keyboard affect a switch so much too. And for me, I just really like Durock switches, JWK switches, Tangi's, C3 stuff. They're my go-to for linears in terms of tactile switches. Me personally, I'll be the first person to run to Pandas. I like Pandas. I think they're, for me, my ideal tactile switch, or Kiwis. Kiwis I don't mind as well. I think Pandas definitely edged that out for my favorite switch. But I think that's a big factor. I think people look at switches and go like, man, this switch will sound the exact same in every board. But I have used creams in certain keyboards, and I don't like creams in certain keyboards, and I love creams in certain keyboards. So if your keyboard too, guys, is a huge factor in the sound that your switch will make too.
You okay there, Ragan?
No.
What'd he do?
I was trying to fix Post Malone, and then my mic came out of the holster.
It's okay.
Get him in the shot, man.
Little Posty Malone casually breaks Mike. Yeah, you good, bro? But guys, I think Chase, do we have anything else we need to wrap up with?
I don't believe so, unless Glarses wants to give us his favorite switch, since he danced around that quote. No, I'm kidding.
MX Brown. No.
You heard him, MX Brown.
That's for February.
That's for February. But that is it, guys. If you guys enjoyed Glarses, he has a YouTube channel. Type in ! Glarses. You guys will get that. I want to interview all of you in the future. Katana, I would love that.
Yes.
If you guys would like to watch, just tuned in late. Chase will have this up on YouTube, Spotify, what else we use, and the VOD will be immediately available on Twitch as well. If you want to use more time on Twitch. If not, it'll be tomorrow on YouTube. That way, there for people with the YouTube subscriptions, you can listen to that in the background. But guys, thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Glarses, for joining us tonight.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah. So today, it's honestly been a blast, man. That was a good laugh talking about you possibly destroying the cherry factory. That was great.
Possibly.
He's like writing down things. Like, no,
Possibly.
we had some great ideas tonight.
Cherry bomb.
Just for legal reasons. That's in game. He's talking about not
In game. Yeah.
Yeah,
In game.
in-game.
Yeah. That was a great
Game
save.
of life.
No.
Pretty funny.
not
Pretty
really,
funny.
actually.
Thanks for the host, dude. We love Cherry. Come on, guys. Max, thank you so much for the host.
Gold standard, obviously.
Gold standard. No, honestly, when I last point before we sign off here, the Vint Blacks that I have from Cherry, literally love them. They're in the key code right now. Absolutely adore those switches. But guys, that is it. Let's go see who we can raid. Let's see.
Let's do it.
Just want to say, Alex just pointed out that Cherry used to make good things.
Dang.
I'm sure. I mean,
I still believe in Jerry.
I've seen Teja pop off with some of the MX Browns. I've seen him pop off.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a shame they sound so good, you know.
Yeah. Who can we raid? I don't even know. Let's see. Let's raid Moist Critical. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know. He's also a comedian on YouTube, Penguin Zero, if you guys know him as well. Let's raid. Oh.
Nothing to do with keyboards, but
Yeah,
I'm sure
nothing
he
to do
uses
with
one.
keyboards. He's hilarious. You guys will like him. You guys have a great night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Big Moist is streaming right now, yes. You guys have a great night. Thank you again. Take care, everybody, and peace out.
Bye.